Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. I have got a fantastic video for you today. I think it's a fantastic video for you today. I'll leave it to you. You tell me in the replies down below if you think it's a fantastic video. We're going to talk about QB2s. I'm looking at quarterbacks that I'm drafting in rounds 11 through 20 that have stackable options for your best ball teams, again, as a backup quarterback to the elite or mid-round quarterback that you're going to be selecting as your QB1. Some of these guys have really easy stacks and double stacks to build with. We're going to talk about those options. And a couple of them have some early round players that you could stack with them as well. If you had built around a player or two in the first few rounds, you can nab their quarterback somewhere after round 10 later in the draft to build a premium type QB2 stack that does have upside that could end as a QB1. These are my 5 top guys as far as that. Thank you guys for checking out the Fantasy Football channel. Be sure that you drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell. You should have already left me a reply down below, to let me know that this is going to be a fantastic video before we even get to it. Share the video, do all the damn things, and let's go.
He's a legend.
So as you saw in the thumbnail, this video is only going to look at quarterbacks that are being drafted later in the draft, guys that we're looking at from rounds 11 through 20. So that leaves out all of these all pros, these primetime quarterbacks. We already hit them up on the channel a couple of weeks ago, talking about some premium quarterback stacks and doubles that you can target in your drafts, but like some guys that people might think might be in this video are not. Guys like Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, right now the QB 11, QB 12, Trey Lance, not eligible for this video. I need guys with an ADP greater than 119.9. Derek Carr, 107. Solid draft pick. You've got guys that you can stack with him early in the draft. Deshaun Watson being drafted too high to be considered for this video. So here's the list of players basically that I had to choose from starting here and moving down. Let me know if I don't mention anybody in this range that you think should. Type them down below in the replies and let me know what you think. But my number 1 quarterback on this list, not in any order of preference, just by ADP is how I'm sorting them, is Kirk Cousins, the obvious one. He fits in pretty easily. He had an ADP of 122.8 when I wrote this down. It looks like they just updated on Underdog since I did that, but an ADP still in round 11 right now. You can pair him with Justin Jefferson going in the middle of the first round. So drafts where you start with Justin Jefferson, it's real easy to come back with Kirk Cousins later in the draft as your QB2 to pair up when Jefferson has a big game. It's very likely that Kirk Cousins also had a big game. Adam Thielen at 76. Don't have to spend a ton of draft capital to get him. But my favorite secondary player that I want with these Kirk Cousins stacks is Irv Smith right now with an ADP of 142. Is just really cheap for a guy coming off injuries. Looks like he's going to be back by the beginning of camp. If you get different news on that as the summer goes along and he is not ready to go, then obviously his ADP is going to fall and we'll reassess at that point. But right now, all of the news and OTAs and beat writers are saying that he should be back by the beginning of camp, be able to have a full camp, work through, get a couple of games in, get some game reps, and be ready for the regular season. So Irv Smith, a lot of people's, including my breakout play, or one of them, as a later round tight end with big time yardage, catch, and touchdown upside to go with your Kirk Cousins doubles. The number 2 guy on this list is Tua Tagovailoa, the QB 17 on Underdog Fantasy, with an ADP of 132.9. Now, this is going to take a little bit of a commitment from you if you wanted to get the premium double of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Tyreek Hill has an ADP currently of 21.6. Jalen Waddle's is 35.3. And Mike Gesicki, if you wanted to pay a little bit less, if you got one of Hill and Waddle and wanted to go with the double, if you were to get one of those premium guys, end up with Tua, you can nab Gesicki at 127 if you kind of on the turn and you wanted to commit to that. But like, it's a lot of commitment in terms of having to commit your second and third round picks to 2 Dolphins. If you do that, you probably should be going to get Tua later in the draft as your QB2 somewhere around round 10, late round 10 or early round 11. My third quarterback on this list is Trevor Lawrence. We're going to hit a rookie. We might hit 2 with the number 1 pick now, only 12 touchdowns last year. We know the struggles that he had, but many quarterbacks have struggles their rookie year. It's not uncommon for a quarterback to see a jump in efficiency, a jump in their countable stats, their yards, their touchdowns, and their fantasy points per game in year 2. Now, the difference between Kirk Cousins, Tua, and Trevor Lawrence is that if you wanted to build this Trevor Lawrence stack or double stack, it's not going to cost you very much at all. One of the highest pedigreed quarterbacks, I believe that he was rated as the highest rated quarterback prospect since Peyton Manning, which is lofty praise. I'm sure that a lot of people are looking at his year one numbers and his year one performance with the circus show that was in town with Urban Meyer and everybody else on that offense, and the injuries that they sustained. They didn't have a good offensive line. They didn't have weapons around him. They've invested a little bit more in that. And in year two right now, you're looking at, Christian Kirk. No matter what you think of him as a player, if you think he's overplayed, I don't care. His ADP is 90. Trevor Lawrence is a QB 19 with an ADP of 147. Marvin Jones Jr., I believe, is like 174 ADP right now, and Evan Ingram is going at 187 right now. So getting a double out of Trevor Lawrence with the possibility that he could throw for, let's say, 42 to 4,300 yards, 25 plus touchdowns, is a pretty modest number in today's NFL for year two for as pedigree to prospect as he was, with more money spent around him, with a full year, a full offseason from January until September when the season starts, with that playbook, with the options that they have, OTAs, mini camps, and private workouts with his receiver group. To think that he might take a leap here in year two is not out of the realm of possibility. And if he does, he will easily pay off that tag as the QB 19 with the possibility of ending up as a low-end QB1 or high-end QB2, right now being drafted as a low-end QB2. So there's profit that we could bake in there. Zach Wilson is in the same boat, being drafted as the QB 21 with an ADP of 170. Elijah Moore would be my preferred option with him, somebody that I'm targeting as a standalone at about the 68th, 69th pick. It's a nice spot that you can go get him. Big time upside from him, big time pedigree from him, explosiveness, short, intermediate, and long from Elijah Moore. And you have a quarterback who, in Zach Wilson, who wants to just challenge down the field. You can go safer with Corey Davis at 158.4 or Garrett Wilson, the rookie, at 98. Last week, I had Adam Levitan on the show, and he talked a little bit about Zach Wilson. Let's see what he had to say.
The other one that I like is also in New York, that Zach Wilson and the Jets. I mean, he was so bad last year. A lot of it started to really unravel after their offensive line got decimated. And so I think they got some help there. Obviously, they have a lot of good weapons now. So I think both the New York quarterbacks are probably two of my favorite late rounders.
Daniel Jones is my number 5 quarterback on the show, being drafted at 23 overall. The QB 23 overall, and he has a ADP of 170. Like, super cheap to get him. They paid Galladay all that money. We were drafting him in the 5th round. Not us. I was kind of avoiding Galladay last year, but he was going in real money drafts in the 5th round. You're getting a discount all the way to round 10 now, with him having an ADP of 121. Kadarius Toney is at 106, and Shepard is going in like the 18 to 20th round of drafts right now. He's essentially free for somebody that is number one of the 3 wideouts that they use in this new offense. You know that their new coach, DeBall, is going to throw the ball downfield. He's going to challenge. They're going to find out what they have in Daniel Jones, or they're going to fish or cut bait at this point. So they're going to put him in every situation that they possibly can to hope that he is a miniature unicorn, a miniature version of Josh Allen, right? We're not going to expect the same exact sort of numbers from him, but like, he can scoot a little bit. Adam was talking about him as well as a QB2. Adam, why don't you tell him what you think about Daniel Jones?
Yeah, I feel like it's super trendy now, but like, I thought Daniel Jones always had a big ceiling because of his rushing play. I mean, if you go back to his rookie year, I know he has that famous trip or whatever where he was wide open, but dude can really run, man. And he had like, I think 3 or 4 30-point games, 30-point drafting games as a rookie. Now, I mean, they're kind of loaded on offense. They add Wandale, Sterling is healthy, Galladay is healthy, Barkley is healthy, and now you get Brian Daboll, who, like, they're going to run the same system that Buffalo ran: spread, throw the ball a ton, throw it vertically, don't worry about throwing interceptions and making mistakes. And like, I just don't see how Daniel Jones doesn't have like major spike week at some point this year.
I basically agree with everything that he just said, and I think that he's a great double stack because you can get him as a quarterback to not spend very much draft equity on the players around him. And I had Kyle make up this handy dandy list of pace of play. Now, some of these numbers are from last season. Obviously, teams are going to change the speed with which they play late or over the course of the season from one season to the next, but there is a lot of stickiness and carryover to this. Like the Cleveland Browns, number 32 in pace last year. Yeah, they brought in a much better quarterback. They may play a little bit faster, but they're going to be a running and defense team. So even if they jump up in pace, they're not going to jump up all that much. But teams that are ranked the highest here, rounds 15, 16, and 17, which are the playoff rounds, you see the Jets playing Detroit, the 12th fastest team last year, Jacksonville, and Seattle. This is a very tasty playoff round roster for a QB2, or maybe you can get one of those spike weeks. The Houston Texans as well, Carolina Panthers, Indianapolis Colts. If you nab Pittman early and you wanted to go after somebody like Matt Ryan as a QB stack, great. But this is the list of pace of play guys. You see Jacksonville here with very good pace and matchups later in the season. Just another tool to help you. It's not the be all end all, but maybe something to build your QB2 stacks around. So thank you guys for watching, and look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.